Good morning and welcome to the Sunday update. We are going to get into those shorter time frames because yesterday we were talking about, if you want to go view that video, it's the previous one from this one. We were talking about the weekly pullback that is still very likely to come. We were talking about the daily time frame and what hint to look for if it is highly probable to see that. And we were also talking about how it would overall extend. So make sure to check out that macro side video. But today you are tuned in and ready and hopefully subscribed so you can get this every single weekend. We're going to go into those 2-hour and 30-minute charts. We're going to give you guys some updated weekly expected moves, and I am running out of time until the girls get home, so I need to film this thing a little bit quickly, but I'm going to try to take as much time as possible to make it as clear as possible for you. So let's just start off by getting you guys those weekly expected moves for the SPY. We do see here that the 688.01 price point, that is going to be your weekly expected upside move for the SPY. 666.49. Now, what I like to do is discuss these weekly ranges, right? 68% zones, 32% of the time you will close outside of them by Friday close. That is the purple lines. But we are heading into the end of the month, and look where that monthly expected move, it is right there. So let's take this into consideration and talk about the 2-hour scale here. The 2-hour was able to make the higher low. This is why we were saying all-time highs around this date. Other people saw this and said, oh no, we're crashing down. We said 2 hours positive, you're getting ahead of yourself. The 30 minutes positive, you're getting ahead of yourself. And we go to all-time highs. So as we just made a 2-hour higher low, as we break through the top side, is it more likely that we are going to come and take out this low this week? Or is the weekly expected move more likely and the flow of these indicators suggesting that we are going to go to the upside? It is suggesting that this is bullish and we are more likely as the market stands right now. We like to update things as the market proves itself, but this would suggest that we are very likely to go see a tag of 688.01 or 690.53 by the end of the week, even early on in the week, judging how we are positioned at this moment. As we are looking for a top, we are looking for the hint of a 2-hour divergence, but we want you to stick around for volatility. Okay, stick around towards the end because this may take a little more. This may take 5 to 10 trading sessions to form, but volatility is suggesting we could see a trap signal that just shows the SPY kind of go up like this and then get a daily confirmation down. So I wanted to bring that to your attention, and we'll go over that for volatility after we get through the SPY and the Q. So stick around. If the 2 hour is able to curl down here, the weekly expected move is suggesting that in order to take out this low, you would have to see something surprising. In order to go negative here for the 2 hour, talking about the bear side here, you would have to see some random piece of data, some random thing from Trump, something that you really wouldn't see coming because the indicators aren't necessarily suggesting that this is highly probable. Now, according to the 30 minutes, so once again, the 2 hour suggesting, hey, we could head to that upside pretty early on in the week. But the 30-minute is saying early on, maybe going into Monday, we do see somewhat of a pullback. That is a possibility. These are things where if you're in a bullish trend, you want to just say, okay, where's my opportunity? Well, if the market gives it to me, if the market proves itself to give me an opportunity, then it may want to come take care of this gap. It may want to take care of testing the 5-day moving average again, as the 30-minute is so positive and you just saw a curl down below that 9 on the 30-minute. It'd be very likely to pay attention to your daily expected move. 680.33 to the upside, and you have 674.17 to the downside with the 5-day moving average and a gap right there. So it would be interesting just to see this 30-minute be able to curl down. Then we curl up into positive territory again. That most likely is your next easy opportunity, and maybe that is the stretch where we are able to get to that weekly expected move in one shot. We will see how that shapes up. For now, if you wanted to see some kind of major downside, even for the 30-minute, would have to take out this 663.13-ish level right in here, this low. You would have to completely take that out. You would have to go retest that 5-day moving average, and you would have to reject. That is a look that you want to pay attention to for the bear side, but I will tell you right now that this is lower probability. This means that a very heightened 30-minute MACD would have to go shooting negative, then curl up and be able to go positive and reject. This is very low probability, but it is good to be aware of those low probability things as a just in case. The more probable thing here is you are going to see a light 30-minute pullback that people maybe get over dramatic about, and then you're just going to curl up on Tuesday and going to be able to tag that weekly expected move, but we will take everything in stride. Make sure you're subscribed so that we can continue to update you based on what signals prove themselves, because we are not future readers. We are not mind readers. We are not able to tell the future. We have to go with the data that we have, and this is the best information you will get according to the signals and the price action that you are seeing at this moment. And there are some great buyers right in here, right? We like those gaps for price action, especially when there is no divergence on your RSI, kind of a flatness on your MACD. So we'll watch out for those things. As it stands, we need to go over the Qs. Let's do it a little bit backwards, get you guys the daily expected moves, and then we'll talk about that weekly expected move up there. 620.84, 613.36 to the downside. Make sure to get these on your charts. You are noticing what about the MACD on the 30-minute? Yeah, you may have a slight divergence on the MACD, but nothing there on the RSI. I like mine to be at the same time. This says there's a little bit of risk here, but not too much. And when you consider where that weekly move is, you consider that you're above the 5, you consider that you just broke out the 2-hour higher low that we'll go over in a moment, it's very likely to curl down to that 613.36, even go outside of it. So here's the thing. If you go outside of that early on in the day, maybe you see some little 5-minute good signals in there, you little day traders, you can see a bounce up and kind of catch that Tuesday move to the upside. So we'll look out for those things. We'll see if we're going to reject. As of right now, the Qs would be looking at similar things to the SPY. It's very identical, which is very nice. If you take out 599.70, right, and then get that reaction down, this is the real bear scenario from the price action we have right now. And this is just low probability, just so you are aware. It is much more probable that we are going to do this, and we are going to see the MACD curl down to that center line. People will overreact to it, and by the end of the day on Monday, you might start to see a little pop, and then on Tuesday, we'll carry that through, and we're very likely to head to the weekly expected move. Now, what do you notice about the weekly expected move as we blow it up to the 2-hour chart? One, the 2-hour divergences have been overall wiped out from the MACD. So I'm not confident in saying that this is going to be a big divergence point. Now, remember, volatility is suggesting we could see it on volatility and see it very wonky for the SPY and the Q. So we'll go over that in a moment, but just be very cautious in these areas. This is a risky area. As it stands, 630.69 to the upside. We see 603.51 to the downside. I believe we have earnings this week. The Qs could get some kind of shift. Earnings could be utilized to really bait people in before we actually get some Fed interest rate news or anything like that. So we'll really pay attention to these things as it stands. But the 2-hour MACD is curled up in what? Positive territory, giving us the higher low. Gonna have to violate that to drop down. And the weekly expected move is suggesting that that's the most probable. As of right now, with the price action we have, it would say, yeah, maybe that 30-minute pullback comes, but we're not going to cross over this 2-hour, and then we're probably just going to curl up into positive territory on that 30-minute to extend this 2-hour even higher. And if we extend that 2-hour higher, we will be looking for that divergence, all right? We will be looking for potential divergences going into later on in November, because the Qs and the SPY say we have some time here. This is why it's important to watch volatility, because the volatility is saying we could shape it up in the next, like, by Thursday, Friday. So we'll go over that in a moment. As of right now, that would suggest that as we are seeing the 2-hour go to the upside, this is going to be a critical level. When you get these moves really close to each other, right next to each other, they start to act like a magnet. If you have one there, it acts like a magnet. If you have two there, it acts like a bigger magnet. And guess what? 75% of the time, the SPY and the Qs will tag one of these sides. So which one do you think is more probable as of this breakout moment right here, as we have a 30-minute right in here, and the daily expected move would say 30-minute pullback seems possible? It'd be very likely that we end up touching that upside move of 630, 34, 630, 69. So I hope that this was overall helpful. Make sure to keep the macro side in mind. I'm just going to do that for a blip here. Make sure to keep in mind that we are looking for that macro scale to extend, give us that point of divergence that then fails, right? This is what we're looking for a top in the next few trading sessions. Once again, I am leaning towards this, but if I see the market squeeze through and violate these points on the RSI, then I will be saying we will be continuing in November, maybe even continuing into December at that point. But that is not what I'm leaning towards. I think we are much more likely to see that divergence point created at 630, and then we will start to tumble. So let's go into volatility, because a lot of volatility is why I have that assessment. It is saying some interesting things over there, so let's get into that. First of all, go watch the macro video, please, if you haven't watched already. This is the shorter time frames. We're really getting through it. That is great. And the daily scale here is curling to the downside. Able to curl up into positive territory is really what we want to see. This is a big reason that we are very likely to see a quick little move here, maybe for, I said, 5 to 10 trading sessions, but volatility is suggesting that we could just see a few days of up this week, go into Wednesday or Thursday, and then bam, to the upside. We just curl up into positive territory, right? This MACD gets close to that center line, then curls up into positive territory. So what can we look for on the shorter time frames to see if volatility is going to pop off? Well, we're going to look for 2-hour divergence. Now, the sketchy part about this weekend was you had a 2-hour divergence on the MACD. Now, I like mine to be at the same time. We don't see 2-hour divergence for the SPY. We don't see 2-hour divergence for Qs. We don't even see 2-hour total divergence, I would say, for VIX. We just see a divergence on the MACD alone. So if you are part of Patreon, this was updated to you very quickly as I was trying to get out in the last hour of the day, saying, hey, what are we looking for here? We're most likely looking for some kind of volatility pop to curl up this 2-hour early on in the week, which it opens up before market hours. So that means this 2-hour could see a full curl up on Monday, and then we actually curl down to create that divergence point by Wednesday or Thursday. So I think that the market is very likely to either continue this move down, then see a pop, then we could see that divergence created by Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday of next week. Later on in the second half of the week, we see that actual divergence. The difference here is you maybe get a triple divergence on your MACD, but you get a single divergence here on the RSI. And I want to make sure that you can see that there is no divergence right now on the RSI. It is down. And this was suggested to Patreon as well. This was suggested by paying attention to this point. Normally, you want to be around or in the oversold conditions to create that first point of volatility. So the fact that this wasn't there really was a red flag to us. It doesn't tell you much as far as your strategy goes, but it does tell you maybe patience is a virtue here, because this most likely isn't the divergence point. So this is what's shaping up. If you look at the timing of it, that would put you into about Thursday morning as a dangerous time. Thursday morning as a dangerous time. Well, what happens on Thursday morning? Well, actually, Wednesday afternoon, we will get the Fed interest rate decision. So Wednesday afternoon, we will get the Fed interest rate decision and a Fed press conference an hour and a half before the close, because I am in the Midwest. And we will actually on Thursday get a bunch of potential data coming out that we did miss overall because of the government shutdown. Now, that has been updating, so that can update a lot, but it tells you that as we get to Thursday, volatility could turn around with that daily pullback. Volatility could create these 2-hour signals. So if you see this going into Wednesday afternoon or Thursday morning, be very, very cautious thinking that this market is going to blow off top to the upside like people are suggesting, because they are ignoring a lot of the risk. They are ignoring the fact that volatility is not down towards 1212 like we're in some kind of massive squeezy bull run for an extended period of time. This is the most likely scenario to take place actually next week. So I will be paying attention to it very closely. I will be updating Patreon if I see these things shape up. And if I see the opposite, like we are going to extend into potentially November OPEX, I will make that information aware to my Patreon members and to YouTube people at night. So if you want it during market hours, though, you got to join Patreon. Today, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you got some critical levels with you. I hope that this video overall was easy to understand and it was able to help you in some way. That is the overall goal of this channel. That is when I sit down every single time to make a video, I sit down and I say, take a breath and make sure you are helpful. I've actually filmed the previous video, the macro update. I filmed that 2 different times because I wanted to make sure that the things I'm saying are very clear. I want to make sure that I am giving the most helpful information possible. So I thank you so much. I hope you have a blessed Sunday with the Lord and with your family. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Please say hi to the family, go hug someone you love, and maybe go eat some good food and be reloaded, because once Monday comes, we're done with rest and we're getting right back into our work. So thank you guys. Have a great day. Peace out.